everyone, welcome to my guide for killing the Nemesis boss this season, Azta'rec. You are going to want to come to the Venom Fall Depths. It's the northern delve on the Coiled Isle, but it is right here where this big snake head is. It's basically just right next to this green waterfall, and you're gonna want to make sure you did your tier 11 delve to make sure you have this unlocked. I think the question mark gets unlocked on like 7. But yeah. So I'm gonna go in here so I can show you what my Valeera stats are, and I'll talk about this add-on in a minute. So you're going to want to have Valeera as your damage dealer, obviously, because you are going to be a disc priest. The curios that I chose for the poison one, it's the Frostheart Venom, and the combat curio, we have Corrosive Bilespear, and the utility curio is the soul cracking Dreamcatcher. Basically, they all kind of just help with either the cast time or reducing damage taken, or I think the corrosive one, yeah, she does tremendous damage with that one. So I only have rank up to rank 2. This is a rank 3. As long as you have the base ones, I think you're going to be fine. Same with Valeera. I only have her at level 42. I did take advantage of the farming her with the Dun Curio to get her leveled in the Ring of Glory, but you don't necessarily have to do that. I would say maybe 30 is probably a decent minimum. You definitely don't have to have her at 80 though. All those people who did that, we always know like the companion never really is going to do that much more. It definitely makes somewhat of a difference, but it's not like a super impacting difference. Anyways, let's talk about this add-on I have. This is the Azta'rec Helper. Now, this add-on will help you tremendously, even in the normal difficulty or the question mark difficulty. With this, you will be able to have the add-on track where you are, at what marker you're at automatically. Now, if you do turn this on automatically, your minimap is going to rotate, as you can tell in the corner. But, like I said, it helps tremendously because then you just autopilot and you go to where you need to go, and then it'll repeat back to you where you need to go for the memory game. It makes things so much easier instead of just putting them in manually. Now, if you prefer doing it manually, you definitely can do it, but at least on double question mark, it's going to be very hard because you have kind of a lot in the intermission happening. At least the last 2 intermissions. So let's go down to the boss, and I'll put some markers down just so I can have some examples going of what you'll need to do. So you can choose whatever markers you want, but you want to make sure you put your markers down everywhere, or not everywhere, at each quadrant, so you know where to go. Very important thing with this add-on, it will not track automatically if you don't face the boss in the quadrant. So say I need to go to blue. If I go to blue and I'm turning my back to the boss, it's not going to record it. You want to make sure your character is facing the boss. Why? Because if your back is facing towards the boss, it's going to think you're back at where you were, because your minimap rotates based on where your character is pointing. And the add-on, I'm pretty sure, explains this. Yes, the add-on says the add-on reads which way you face off the minimap and writes down the route down on its own while you dodge, which needs your minimap set to rotate with you. So whichever way you're looking, that is where it's going to know where you are. So as you can tell, I am looking, and star is right here, X is right here, and triangle's up here, and square is here. If I turn this way, it turns around. So it's going to say, it's like, say you went from triangle to square here now. Then it's going to say triangle, triangle. Obviously, the boss does not do 2 of the same quadrant in a row. So Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. Anyways, so that's the important thing with this add-on during intermission. You have to face the boss in each quadrant. Anyways, let's talk about Dispriest. These are the talents that I chose. I think I just took the basic talents from Icy Veins for the Delves. So, I mean, it seemed to work for me. It really doesn't matter too much. The only thing that really, really matters is your dominant mind. If you do not have dominant mind, this will be so much harder. What does dominant mind do if you have no idea? It is a mind control, but you are not in control of whatever you mind controlled. It controls itself, and you can still have control of your character, which is very, very good. So, during intermission, an ad will spawn. It's an Echo of Azta'rec. You will mind control this ad. The first one is super easy. All you gotta do is dodge and mind control this ad when you can. Now, after that initial intermission, in the next intermission, Azta'rec is gonna spawn another ad. So, if he spawns another ad, that means we need to kill the other ad. And also re-CC the ad that you have. So make sure it like I said, the intermission gets very hectic, and that's why this add-on is so good. So you're obviously going to the correct quadrant, but you're also trying to kill that extra ad, and also if you need, reapply your CC to the ad that you originally CC'd. It's a lot, but it makes this doable. Now, when he first starts this intermission, you want to make sure you do use a mind blast on this new ad. Why? Because for some reason, this ad will always go to Valeera. I think it's because she like steps to him or something, or she's just his favorite. I don't know. But if you use a mind blast and you have your entropic rift on him, he's gonna eventually aggro onto you. Now, we don't really want him on Valeera because, yes, as a DPS for some reason, she can tank some damage, or more damage, but she will eventually die if we just let her get hit by this mob. The only thing you may need to worry about is the debuff going off on you, which you need to dispel from this ad during intermission. So make sure you have something indicating that, hey, I need to dispel myself. When you CC the ad and you have the boss also, like after the intermission, it's going to say, hey, the interrupt is happening. Hey, the dispel is happening for both ads because it's tracking both of them. Obviously, Azta'rec is going to be the only one actually doing these abilities to you, or trying to. So every time the mind controlled ad does it, you're going to be fine. He's actually doing it on Azta'rec, so you have nothing to worry about. If anybody has any questions on why we hear double, hey, dispel, or hey, kick that, in my VOD that I have, out of intermission, we have the frontal that he does that spits out little pools of venom on the ground that you want to not be in. Also, these stairs get filled with venom, like a big venom pool, so you want to make sure you're either baiting him on the left or right of these stairs or just going around the room. So you want to make sure you also have him point that frontal this way as opposed to in the middle, because in the middle is where you're obviously going to these quadrants during intermission, and you don't want to be stuck in taking damage for no reason. Also, he does waves. You want to make sure you watch out for these waves. They get progressively worse as the fight goes on. There were definitely some close calls that I had. So make sure you are watching yourself. He usually does the waves and then immediately the frontal. And the waves come all from like the edge. I mean, they can even come from this pillar. Like I've seen them like basically spawn on him only because I have him usually right on the edge of the arena, away from the middle. So make sure you have your eyes peeled for these and make sure you're dodging. Like I said, I had a couple close calls, but just dodge. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. The main things to keep track of. If you're not in intermission, dodge the waves, and point the frontal not in the middle of the room. That's all you need to do, and dispel yourself. If it's intermission, make sure even outside of intermission, CCing the ad with Dominant Mind. You have to do that on cooldown. It lasts for 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, you need to be doing this. Intermission. Make sure you go to the right quadrant facing the boss. If you're not facing the boss, it's going to say the wrong place to go when it's time for the memory game. So face the boss and make sure if you're in that second or third intermission, which happens at 90%, 60%, and 30%, make sure you are trying to kill the second ad that spawns and re-CCing that first ad. It can get a little bit hectic, especially if you're like in X and you have to go to Star over there. Like, I wouldn't try to MC again here. If anything, if Star and you have to go to Blue, I would MC in Blue. But you want to make sure you kill that second ad as fast as possible, because once Azta'rec is out of intermission, that's when we're going to have doubles of everything, and you don't want to have doubles of everything, especially the debuff, because double debuff means you're dead, essentially. Also, I had some issues targeting the mind-controlled ad and then dispelling and not it being myself. I don't know what Azta'rec, like the Echo Azta'rec has on him that's dispellable, but it puts my dispel on cooldown, which in turn then I have to PS myself and desperate prayer until the spell is off cooldown. Thankfully, it's kind of a shorter cooldown, but it still can get a little stressful. So make sure you are targeting yourself for the dispel. One last thing, I forgot about the corrosive thing at the front. I just have Obsidian Maw. That's basically all that I have. If you've unlocked the point where you can have 2 as opposed to just 1, I'd use Ulatek's Gift if possible. I only have 1 unlocked, but just by default, use Obsidian Maw. Anyways, like I said, that's pretty much my guide. I hope you guys have some very good luck, especially if you're trying to do this on the weekend of this first week. If you're in the future, this should be very simple and straightforward. And hopefully this add-on does not get nerfed, but I don't know. We may have to figure some other stuff out if this add-on doesn't work past this first week. But yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope everybody has a fun time killing this boss.
Frontal. Incoming debuff. Watch wave. Frontal. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Frontal. Watch wave. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Change. Incoming debuff. Danger,
Star.
danger.
Triangle. Cross.
Interrupt.
Star. Cross.
Frontal. Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Frontal. Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Watch wave. Frontal. Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Incoming debuff.
I don't think so.
Frontal. Interrupt. Watch wave. Watch your feet. Incoming debuff. Incoming debuff. Frontal. Interrupt. Watch your feet. Frontal. Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Interrupt. Phase change. Incoming.
Triangle.
Incoming debuff.
Cross. Square.
Interrupt.
Cross.
Incoming debuff.
Triangle.
Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Frontal. Watch your feet. Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Incoming debuff. Frontal. Watch your feet. Interrupt. Watch your feet. Interrupt. Watch wave. Incoming debuff. Watch your feet. Frontal. Watch your feet. Incoming debuff. Watch your feet. Watch wave. Interrupt. Watch your feet. Frontal. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Interrupt. Frontal. Incoming debuff. Phase change. Incoming debuff. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Interrupt. Danger,
Square.
danger.
Triangle. Star. Triangle.
Incoming debuff.
Star.
Incoming debuff.
Triangle.
Interrupt.
Star.
I don't think so.
Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Interrupt. Watch wave. Interrupt. Incoming debuff. Watch your feet. Watch your feet. Watch your feet. Interrupt.
Had enough of your
Incoming debuff. Interrupt.
this is for you.
Watch your feet. Frontal. Watch your feet. Incoming debuff. Watch your feet. Interrupt. Frontal. Interrupt. Watch wave. Watch your feet. Interrupt. Frontal. Watch your feet. Watch your feet. Incoming debuff. Interrupt.
Had enough of your tricks.
Income. Interrupt. Frontal.